start taking one of those before every Browns game.
Facts.
It might keep me from getting sick. I'm not exaggerating, Shawn Porter. The champ is here. The champ is here. What's up, brother?
Happy to be with you guys. How you guys doing?
Well, we're miserable. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
From a sports standpoint, our Guardians got dinked. The Cavs did look good on season opener, but we're Brownsing again here, Shawn. We're Brownsing again after a period where we thought we had gotten away from that. I know you're a huge fan. I know you want to vent, and I want to hear your vent. I want to hear your thoughts, your take on why we find ourselves once again in the conversation for the top pick in the NFL draft.
I'll start with the Raiders game. I live out here in Las Vegas. I've been dying to see the Browns play here in Las Vegas. And my thought process was whenever they come, I'm going to be front row because they are going to tear it up. And they did the complete opposite. I think it's no secret why we performed as bad as we performed. I think that when it's not Stefanski, it's Watson. When it's not Watson, it's Stefanski. I think that we just have not been able to really pull it all together. To your point of we're Browns in here, when I sat there at that Raiders game, I really felt like, dang, like this feels like 2003. This feels like 2004. This sucks, Yep. Fast forward. I was looking forward to going to the Philadelphia game. My bucket list is to go to every single NFL stadium. At some point, I got to get over to England and get over to the stadium that I know that they're building over there. And in my mind, I drew up the game plan. And this sounds bad. But in my mind, Watson goes down in the first series, and I hate to say that. And I'll go back to what I said to you guys before about Watson not being able to get it together. I knew that we would end up here with Watson because I knew that Watson was a rhythm player. Rhythm athletes, if you have not used your rhythm on game night, it just won't be there for you. And we've gone now 3 seasons with Watson struggling simply because he's a rhythm player that has not been able to get on the dance floor and use his rhythm.
Wow.
And so it's gone. It's not coming back. But I told you guys that
you did
2 years ago now. I think it was. Yeah,
you did.
I know sports. You know what I mean? And so, in my mind, I drew this up, and not to pour blood on Watson, but the best way that I could enjoy this game was if Watson went down and Jameis comes in and he lights it up, and we haven't been able to see that yet. I know that Jameis came in last week because of the injuries, which was, I was a week behind on that, or a week premature on that. But I feel like Jameis Winston is the guy that's going to take us to the winning column. And obviously, I think we're out of reach of a playoff run this year. But I think Winston's the guy.
First of all, Shawn, you've been killing it, man, in your second career. I watch a lot of boxing. I've been catching you on the broadcast, brother. You've been killing it, so shout out to you.
Thank you.
But to the Jameis Winston point, you believe that he can lead us to some wins. Do you think that Jameis Winston can be in the Browns' plans past this season?
There's no telling. I don't know what happened with the quarterback that we had last year. I'm drawing a
Joe
blank
Flacco.
right now, but Flacco, yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that whole deal with Flacco, but it seemed to make sense to bring Flacco back. Here's what I think. I think that they couldn't justify benching Watson, and you can't justify having Flacco on your team doing what he just did the previous season. So I think that they let Joe Flacco go so that they wouldn't have to deal with this $250,000 or $1 million that's on the bench. But that's simply what needs to happen. I think if Jameis goes on to lead us to some wins, a lot like Joe Flacco did last year, I think the next season, it make more sense to keep Jameis Winston with the organization, because we've seen now, it's been proven top to bottom that Watson just isn't the guy. And I'm also, of course, hearing the rumors of us getting maybe a Shador coming over to the Browns organization as well, which I think would be pretty cool.
It'd be interesting for sure if the Browns are in the one slot, and if there isn't something said before the draft from his dad Dion or from Shador that he just doesn't want to play here. I know that they're probably going to try to orchestrate where they land. Shawn, you have been You're right. You've been very consistent. In fact, from the time we had you on the first time, I thought, man, this dude's like my sports twin. We were aligned on a lot of this stuff. And I remember you saying early on, before we had much of a body of work from Deshaun Watson, not going to do it. He's not the guy. I'm telling you guys are waiting on something that's not going to show up. One thing that Shawn King, the former Bucs quarterback, and actually was on the Super Bowl roster when the Colts won the Super Bowl, he joins us every week. And he said this week to the question that you were just asked about Jameis Winston is that we shouldn't be quick to put a ceiling on this guy because he's only 30. So he's 10 years younger than Flacco. I happen to think that I hope they're open-minded. If he comes in and does what Flacco did last year, and I'm not saying lead in the playoffs because I think that ship has sailed, but if he looks good and plays 10 games and they go 7-3, hell, even 6-4, but he puts up good numbers, once upon a time this guy was throwing the ball all over the place. I would be disappointed if they didn't bring him back if he plays well.
Yeah. See, the difference with Jameis Winston, because I know there's people like, well, Jameis hasn't had any game time at all, so how do you justify bringing in Jameis Winston, and thinking that he's going to do as well as I feel he's going to do? He's what I call a natural gunner. He's a natural passer that has the ability to drop back, read the defense before he even drops back, and he knows what to do. Beyond that, he knows what to do if, as he drops back, he's not seeing the defense move the way he needs it to move. He's a natural gunning quarterback that can feel the game. The difference with him and Watson is Watson plays off of instinct. He plays so much off of instinct and natural raw talent that he's never had to develop that game with having the eyes and the intellect to be able to see beyond what his instinct sees. Wow. And that's the difference between those two guys. I'm telling you guys, I know sports. I know athletes. We will get a Jameis Winston. Not only beyond that, Winston, as we all know, has the energy to lead any team. Yeah. And that's what our team needs right now. I think if Winston had come in, we would have never lost Cooper. Because I think that Cooper just needed someone with the leading intentional energy to bring him up and keep him involved and keep him tuned into the game. This is what I know. First drive doesn't go your way. Second drive doesn't go the way. If that third drive doesn't go your way, everybody starts to tune out, starts to lean back on who they are, and it becomes an individual game. Where football is a team sport, as we all know, Winston is the guy to lead the team.
Wow.
Deshaun Watson was never that guy. I'm sorry. He just was never that guy.
You have any predictions? How do you think? The one thing that has hurt him in his career is interceptions.
I'll tell you guys why I came on here today. Listen, I've used Twitter to meet so many athletes, to meet so many comedians, people that I've looked up to, and I started to tweet Jameis, like, personally, and I was like, tweeting him personally is not going to get it done. So I'm hoping that something I say on here reaches the organization.
That's awesome.
So he wasn't hitting you back on the DM.
Yeah. So I know I would have got the DM, but that's not good enough. This has to hit the airwaves of Cleveland personally, so they do the right thing. He comes in, we go 6-4 with him. We might go 7-3 with him.
Wow. Man, I hope you're right.
Shawn, I'm wondering, as a high precision athlete like yourself, who's also a rabid Browns fan, obviously there's been a lot of talk this week about just the reaction to when Deshaun went down and the fans who cheered or booed or however you want to phrase it. And a lot of players spoke out against it, spoke out very strongly, saying you've lost the players now in the locker room, Cleveland fans, and Miles saying that he's a model citizen. What do you make of everything that transpired on the field Sunday and everything the players had to say afterwards?
You know, the word that I was hearing right before you guys brought me on was transparency. And that's literally been my key to success. As you can see, the Cleveland, and even people outside of Cleveland, because I travel a lot, and every time I travel with Cleveland gear on, and I get people that are Cleveland fans, Browns fans specifically, and everybody's let down. The best thing you could do is be transparent and say, this is the move we're going to make. This is the reason why we're going to make the move. And we're going to give you fans what you need as we end this season. That's the best thing that you could do, because at the end of the day, the team, the organization is only here because Cleveland wants them here. No NFL team is going to reside in a city that people don't want them in. So while you're here for us, you at some point you gotta have to appease us. You have to do what we expect you to do. When Deshaun goes down, I'm sorry, but we all knew that was the only way. He was not going to be on the field. It is what it is. So when he goes down, everybody cheers about it because now we're getting what we want. And you got to give us more of what we want.
Hey, Shawn, I got to switch things up on you a little bit, man. So, you a champ. You from the land. There's a young man that's an up-and-coming boxer from the land. I think you know who I'm about to mention, man.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on Abdullah Mason?
Abdullah Mason, I think, is one of the best athletes in boxing right now. He's young. He's not even 20 years old yet. And I'm talking about he's better than everybody that you see in boxing from a standpoint of having the raw talent and ability to do what he does. He has a nature to fight. Comes from Cleveland. That's where that comes from.
Facts.
And he's been, everything that he has been cultivated by the history of boxing. Guess what? His first coach was the same coach that my dad had. My dad trained me based off the things that his coach trained him to do. So Abdullah and the whole clan, because it's like 6 or 7 of them, they've all come under the tutelage of one of the godfathers of boxing, Clint Martin. So shout out to Clint Martin. Clint Martin has passed on, but everything that he's taught has certainly not passed on. It's all been given to Abdullah Mason. I expect Abdullah to do twice as much as I've done as a professional boxer, if not more than that. Wow. And I was able to win two world championships as a professional fighter. So also shout out to Charles Conwell. Charles was on the 2016 Olympic team, so he's supposed to be there now as a world champion, and so expect him to reach a world championship next year. I'm going to start helping Charles get there. Charles is supposed to have been there by now, and Abdullah's going to take his time. He's only 19. He's going to take his time, but he's going to be there for a long time.
I love it, and I love your insight, and it's always great having you on and catching up. Great to see you, Shawn. Well, hopefully we're going to put this Browns and thing behind us. Let's go 7-3, 6-4. Get this thing figured out, and we'll have you on next year to talk about how they've turned the ship around.
Yes.
Thanks, brother. Always good to see you.
Yo, Ant, I got to hit on something Shawn said before we move on, because he actually took it right out of my mouth, and I told Ant and Mike this upstairs.
Yeah.
2 years ago when he came on this show, and when he said what he said about Deshaun Watson, I remember a lot of our fan base, we automatically dismissed it, not even giving him the grace of being a former athlete that was a champion. And when you take 2 years off like that, I think we all underestimated the magnitude of that.
That was what the basis of his opinion was. You can't sit on the sidelines at the toughest job in the world for 2 years and then come back and be like, I'm back, here I am. And be dominant. He knew it. He felt it. Sometimes I think we have a tendency to do that with professional athletes. Well, especially when they're talking about something that wasn't their sport. Mm-hmm. Athletes are athletes. And to understand the mindset of an athlete, you have had to bend one. And we can't bring that perspective. But a guy like Shawn can. And I love what he said about the rhythm. He's been a rhythm player who's, got a plugged fuel line, and he's like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. He never got into that rhythm again, and I don't know that he'll ever get the chance to do it again. But I like Shawn a lot. Not professionally, he was incredible, but he's got a lot of interesting things to say, and I was a little surprised how strong he was about the injury.
Yeah.
I think I'll try to clear up what he said. I don't think for a second, and I hate to speak for the man, but I don't think he was rooting for him to be injured.
No.
But I do think that he had come to a brick wall where he had realized, well, it's clear. They're not taking him out no matter how badly he plays. There's only one way out of this, and that's if he gets hurt.
Man, I'll say this because I know the fans will tired of talking about it, but I ain't been out here. I had a very strong initial reaction to the fans' reaction.
Right.
And when you're asked to respond to something, what's your initial response, right?
Yeah.
You give what you initially feel in the moment. And I owe some of y'all an apology because, one, after I heard Myles Garrett speak, I did lump everybody in. But not only that, I have a tendency to assume that people are going to operate like I operate.
Sure.
You know, I was raised on them old, you know, my great-grandmother, my grandmother, like you show people empathy, you show people grace. Just because I do that doesn't mean everybody else have to.
Sure.
And I am nobody, I'm above no man or woman to tell them how they should feel emotionally.
Right.
Because when you take away the Deshaun Watson aspect of this entire thing, like the Browns have been really, really bad this year. Deshaun was bad, the line been bad, the coaching been bad, the defense has been bad. Everything has been bad. And, you know, we automatically assume everything is about Deshaun. Forget Deshaun. He's just another player that's coming and going. We got a pissed off fan base because we keep spending more money and more money every single year on merchandise when it goes up, on tickets when it goes up, on food for tailgating, on parking for tailgating, on every single thing that surrounds Cleveland Browns. And they are frustrated as hell that the product that we are getting is BS, especially when you have to take on certain players on this team that you might not necessarily care for or whatever the case may be. You're not going to agree with everything that they do. And so, like, I think that, you know, at first it was just like, okay, man, it's some pretty bad people. But you know what? I was wrong. You don't have to empathize with everybody. That's your choice. When Shelby Harris said what he said yesterday, I was a little irritated because now I feel like you're piling on. And we're way past that point. You could have did all that Sunday.
Yeah, we got to get past it all.
To say that you're like the fans has lost the players, like the fans has been here. They're going to be here long after you all are gone. I think y'all need to check y'all performance and understand y'all losing the fans.
And know this, the players have lost the fans.
Yeah. Like it's a two-way
We're finding
street.
it hard to root for anybody because nobody's doing
At this
anything.
point on a Thursday, you was better off not saying nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
Real quick,